All right, I am waiting for a building inspector, and this seems to be my favorite time to film videos. So I had a topic come up with some new clients the other day, which was about space for a mechanical room. So today I'm going to walk you through what we have going on in this mechanical room, how big the house is, the type of equipment we're using, and why mechanical rooms are arguably some of the most important footage in the entire house. Let's get going.
Come see Stephanie daily at Build Show Live. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description for tickets. Use code Stephanie26 for 25% off.
All right, well, we'll start this off really simple. We're in about a 5,300 square foot home. 2 levels, basement and a main floor. This house has forced air, you can see behind me. It also has radiant heat. We have our tankless hot water heaters. So I want to walk you through this mechanical room and just kind of explain why your builder might be fighting for more space in a mechanical room on your floor plan. So this space is about 11 feet by 15 feet. So we'll start off with the easiest. You can see behind me here, we have 2 separate Lennox air handlers. These air handlers are connected to cold climate heat pumps that are primarily doing our air conditioning because this house is radiant heat, but they do have heat coils in them, so they can also do just a forced air heat, which will help in times when you need to recover that heat quickly, because radiant heat doesn't heat up quickly. 2 units, yes, although the unit size, meaning this part, is fairly small. Most stocks will tell you, 30 by 30. The piece that designers and architectural designers don't often understand is all the rest of this. So this is the ductwork that goes to the unit. Now, in our case, all of our heat registers in this basement are underneath the concrete slab. So you will see that we have one of these units that is downflow feeding some of the basement. And then upstairs, all of our registers are in the floor of the upper level, in the ceiling of the basement. So you'll see this ductwork coming out overhead of me here. We will have dropped areas throughout the basement ceiling that is feeding that forced air to the upper level. So these do call out dimensions of roughly 30 by 30, but as you can see, once you add the ductwork in, your filter locations, they take up a lot more room. So I always say, plan on the big side. Plan on 36 by 36 or 36 by 40, and know that you'll have room to kind of get around them and they're not crammed together. So those 2 units are the first thing. Then if we go to this wall over here, you'll see the first of our 2 electrical panels. This house is doing span panels, and oftentimes the architects will locate the electrical panel locations on the plan. Very rarely do we put them in the spot that they're locating them. Oftentimes they're not taking into account the structural steel beams or big wood beams that may be up in the floor that are blocking access to those locations. So these electrical panels get placed in areas that make the most sense when it comes to wiring. Now, we did not have enough wall space in this mechanical room for both electrical panels. We have a 400 amp service and 2 200 amp panels. So this here, the second one, is behind this unit facing into another room because we were completely out of wall space. So we need to take into account equipment size and access, code access, being able to clean it, service it, that kind of thing. We just didn't have any more room. So one here, one behind that unit in another room. Now we have about 5.5 feet on the wall over here that is being taken up by our radiant heat system. So this is where all the valves will be. If you're not doing radiant heat or snow melt, you won't have to worry about this. And this is a good amount of wall space that we could have put that electrical panel in here. So something to think about. And then on this side over here, we have our hot water tanks. So in this case, we are doing 1 tankless water heater, but we're prepping the house for 2 because this house technically should have 2 tankless hot water heaters. There's only 2 homeowners living here. They don't feel like they would utilize that much hot water, but if they sold it and a family moved in that was utilizing the space, They would absolutely need two, and adding the vents for those later is really challenging. So we have space here for two tankless water heaters in the future, but for now we'll just install one. We have our main water shut off, we have our hose bib shut off, and then we have our water softener. And in this case, we also have what's called a sand spin filter that helps kind of purify your water. You'll notice we don't have boilers in here, which we have two large boilers for the radiant heat and snowmelt system. We also did not have room in this space for those, so those had to be relocated to the garage. Just understand that if your builder is asking you for more space in the mechanical room, there is absolutely a reason why. You want to make sure that this room is functioning properly, it's built well, and you have the amount of space that you need for the equipment that you have. So on a house of this size, an 11 by 15 foot mechanical room wasn't enough. And a lot of that comes into play when we're talking about what equipment are you wanting. So knowing the type of equipment ahead of time really allows your architect, your architectural designer, and your builder to size the mechanical room space and understand how much room you need for the equipment you're going to have. But trust me, never underestimate the amount of room you need in a mechanical room because it is the most important space. Location's also important. If we shove it to one side of the house or the other, it becomes less efficient, ductwork becomes bigger, and there's just a lot of issues. So make sure to talk through that with your architect and your builder and make sure you're setting the right space aside for your mechanical equipment. You guys know you can find more videos on social media at Stephanie Builds It. We'll see you next time on The Build Show.